Welcome to another episode of Film Talk Football. I'm Russell Nelson.
And I'm Turner Keck, and today we're joined by a really special guest, our resident Chicago Bears enjoyer and Philly fanatic, Connor Zaleski.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here and very happy to talk about the Bears, who absolutely spanked the Patriots last night.
I have it down in my my little notes as Patriots downfall.
Yeah, they got absolutely destroyed. You know that? Run game looked great. I think we ran for like 200-something yards all over them. I think it was David Montgomery, Justin Fields, and Khalil Herbert. Absolutely wrecked the Patriots' defense. They made them look like a bunch of nobodies. Matt Judon was the only person who did good. And even then, he couldn't even reach Justin Fields. All those third and longs, Fields converted all of those. That is my quarterback.
243 rushing yards for the Bears, 70 for the Patriots.
Yeah, see? Running wins the game.
Bailey Zappi is outplaying Mac Jones at the moment.
Honestly, everyone was saying, oh, Mac Jones is going to be so much better than Justin Fields. A bunch of people wanted Mac Jones over Justin Fields. But look at this. Look at this.
Bailey Zappi, I would like to say, he did throw the one touchdown that the Patriots had through the air. He also threw 2 picks and lost a fumble. So,
Mac Jones, what did he have, 16 yards?
And a pick. He got like 2 drives, though,
Yeah,
because of injury.
He didn't play long.
So we're going to start with after the little Bear tangent, we're going to start real quick with the Saints-Cardinals Thursday night. I didn't watch that game. I kind of wish I did. It was actually pretty entertaining from what I saw, including the clip of, what's his name?
We're going to put in the viral clip of Andy Dalton.
Wilson, I think Mario Wilson, diving, full extension as Andy Dalton kind of just looks in the background like this, just blank stare. But anyways, quick recap of that game. It's quite an Andy Dalton stat line. 30 completions, 361 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 if you count as 2 pick sixes, and 3 picks.
The Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket was slinging.
Hey, you know what? He did play for the Bears last year, so I mean, I kind of expected this to happen.
Benjamin said he was going to be a big fantasy pickup. He was so big, in fact, that he sat on my bench, and I still scored 160 points.
How many do you have? 24?
23.
Dang. All right.
So Thursday night was actually an exciting game, which I'm not used to because they keep trying to force feed us Broncos games on Thursday night.
And then we had a primetime Bears game where there was more than 25 points. How amazing is that?
It was awesome, frankly.
I could actually watch.
I don't remember the last time the Bears scored that many points. And also, the Bears were 0-9 in primetime games before that, so snap the streak.
So for the Cardinals coming off the big win, they're looking at a road contest, a nice trip to the Dome in Minneapolis against the
Vikings.
Well-rested Vikings.
What time's the game?
1 o'clock.
Okay.
Still sitting at 6-1.
Vikings for the win.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Lock it in.
1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins is...
Modern Warfare just came out. Modern Warfare 2 just came out. Kyler Murray is not winning a 1 o'clock game.
No, this is the part where we see the Cardinals start going down now.
This is the formula of a lifetime. This is a
Kirk Cousins, 1 o'clock.
lock. Kyler Murray after a Call of Duty release and Kirk Cousins on a home 1 p.m. game.
And then the Saints will have the Raiders traveling to the Swamp to play another 1 o'clock game. I'm not too excited to watch that one, but you know.
Nah, give me the Saints.
That's a big game for the Raiders. If they want to actually have a chance in the NFC West, they're going to have to
win. They're in the
that.
AFC West.
AFC
Aren't they
West.
2-5?
They're bad.
Yes.
Yeah, they need to win that game.
And then two big upsets this week. The Panthers, apparently after selling any player that's worth anything to their franchise, forgot how to tank and beat the Bucks 21-3. And Tom Brady looked really happy on the sideline.
Yeah,
Would you divorce Giselle to put up 3 points against the Carolina Panthers?
Honestly, I
No.
mean, you get to chase the bag,
It's a tough
but
decision.
at the same time, 3 points against the Panthers. To be fair, I think if Mike Evans did not drop that ball, we'd be talking a lot different right now.
Yeah, no, that would have changed the entire game.
We'd be talking a lot different right now, but here we are. They lost, and the only put
Short week for Angry Man Tom as the Ravens will travel down to Tampa for Thursday night football, and then the Panthers get to play another NFC South opponent. Maybe get the ball rolling and have a turnaround year against the Falcons in Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz.
Could you pull up the standings for the? Actually, I can do it.
The NFC South is just bad. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, aren't the
about
Bucks in first place? And they're like 3-4.
So the NFC South, yes, the Bucks are in first place at 3-4. Falcons 3-4. If the Panthers win this game against the Falcons, they would be in first place in their division. That's crazy.
Kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
And then Packers, Aaron Rodgers, allergic to drafting receivers. Stunned by the Commanders, Matt Roman's Commanders. On what was it like? It wasn't a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah,
it was 1 o'clock.
23-21. Taylor Heineke out quarterbacked Aaron Rodgers.
The Packers win
by 7 yards.
What did the Packers go? 2 quarters without an offensive score? I
Yeah.
know they put up 14.
No, just one.
They look great.
They put up 14 in the first quarter,
Yeah,
didn't
they look great in the first.
No,
quarter.
they put 14 in the first half.
They look great in the first half, and then they fell off. But that's been the tail of the Packers this year, I think.
I actually saw a TikTok from Spawn Hour on TikTok. He also runs a football podcast, and he said he doesn't know who the GM of the Packers is, but he's going to give them some free advice. Trade whatever picks and whatever you need to get a good pick and draft an Ohio State receiver. And keep doing that until the Packers have a good receiving core, because the hit rate on Ohio State receivers is like 100%.
What's the compensation looking like for the Devontae Adams trade? They get
first round pick, second round pick, first and second round picks.
All right. Yeah, maybe that's
actually, they already got it. It was in the 2022 draft.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Did they take Christian? They traded up and took Christian Watson.
They took Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker in the first round. They took Watson in the second, I'm pretty sure.
They traded up their mid pick to take him.
And then for both these teams, the Commanders, which are probably the most chaotic football team in the history of football, 4 o'clock game in Indy against the Colts, who no longer have Matt Ryan. He's out.
Sam Ehlinger season.
Sam Ehlinger.
Texas is not back.
Hopefully the Colts will be back. The Packers. Oh, well, that's going to be a pretty football game.
What is it?
Sunday night in Buffalo. Buffalo is 11-point favorites, which is the highest of the week.
I think 11 honestly might be a little low.
Yeah, I'd take Buffalo blowing that game wide open.
I would take Buffalo on that. Packers have lost 3 straight, right?
Yeah.
I think
they've had offensive struggles since the second half of the Giants game. They don't look like they're putting anything together. They look like they're falling apart, and the Bills have a potent attack.
Yeah, that Packers defense was supposed to be the headliner this year instead of the offense, and just neither sides of the ball look good. So, yeah, I'd take the Bills by more than 11.
And then a couple more of the Sunday early games. Joe Burrow absolutely tore the Falcons defense apart.
He won that game for the Bengals.
It was like
he not single-handedly, but that was a Joe Burrow game.
They won 35-0. There was one score in the entire second half, and it was 35-17, not nothing. Mm-hmm. One score in the entire second half. It was a touchdown. Joe Burrow had 3 passing touchdowns in the first 2 quarters, and then a rushing touchdown in the third. Finished with 481 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I saw a stat.
What was his completions?
It's crazy.
34 out of 42.
That's crazy.
That's
like
really good.
It's an 81%.
That's insane.
Completion percentage.
No, I saw something.
like that.
It was
That's
like
crazy.
There's only one quarterback ever who has had 2 games of 500 total yards. So like rushing 2, because I know he rushed for like 30.
He had a few rushes.
And 4 total touchdowns, and it's just Joe Burrow. He's had 2 games of 500 total yards and 4 total touchdowns.
That's crazy.
He's the only one.
That.
And then Monday Night Football is when the Bengals get to come back out and play the Browns, who are just not very good.
No.
They're good at running the football, and they're not good at anything else.
Yeah, they're 2-5. Give me the Bengals on that, easy.
And then Atlanta, we already talked about getting to play the Panthers. That game has a lot of implication, despite the fact that it's probably going to be boring.
Atlanta and Panthers?
Yeah.
That's a fight for the first place in the division.
Somehow.
If the Bucks lose.
Yes.
Which they probably will, honestly.
Chargers, Seahawks. My praises of the Chargers at the beginning of the year are falling to shambles.
To be fair, they're very injured.
Well, they're injured and their defenses look nothing like what it's supposed to. J.C. Jackson, until he went out yesterday, played terrible.
Herbert played solid.
Herbert's played well.
Kenneth Walker was
Walker.
the star of the show. 168 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing.
No,
if you had him at the beginning of the fantasy season and you traded him
for Jeff Wilson to the guy who has Christian McCaffrey, so now you got nothing out of that trade. You lost, like you net gained nothing.
Fantasy stud.
Chargers will come out with a bye, so I don't get to bring out the Herbert jersey this weekend, and then Russell's favorite, the Giants come to Seattle to play the Seahawks.
7-1. 7-1.
You want to give a little bit of a rundown of the Giants now?
Last week, Giants in Jacksonville, the Evan Ingram revenge game, came out firing. Daniel Jones on the first drive, he looked amazing. He looked amazing most of the game, but their first drive was one of their best all year. They went down 5 plays, 35-yard touchdown to Darius Slayton down the sideline. Gave up a touchdown in the response drive after that, kind of slowed down. But defense, literally the definition of bend, don't break. Christian Kirk caught it at the 1-yard line on the last play, held him out.
Yeah, that's good, actually.
Final score was 23-17. If he caught that could have been a game winner if they made the extra point. So Giants are finding ways to win games even when they don't play that well.
I just actually read a thing while we were sitting here preparing, talking about the biggest worries for each team. The biggest worry for the Giants is that they are physically unable to make a statement win. They can only win by like a single score, and so that's not sustainable in the playoffs is what the article said.
I take an ugly win over a pretty loss.
It's a fair argument, but when you look at the fact that they're 4-1 in one-score games this year, I think winning a close game is better, or being able to win close games is better than being able to blow teams out.
Yeah, might have to agree with that.
Fair.
So they're playing the Seahawks next week?
Yeah. Yes. So
give me the Giants.
Giants in Seattle. Hopefully Vegas will favor the Seahawks like they did the Jaguars. Daniel Jones just coming off his biggest performance. He's gonna look to tear up a weaker Seahawks defense.
I think the Seahawks are scrappy, but honestly, yeah, give me the Giants.
Don't the Giants really struggle with stopping the run?
Yes.
Kenneth Walker's going to give him problems.
So, yeah, Kenneth Walker. But DK Metcalf is out.
If you have Kenneth Walker, he's going to eat.
They'll be able to put more support into the run game with DK Metcalf out. Right. And the Seahawks' run defense itself is very poor.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be a
Saquon Barkley is going to go off.
And Daniel Jones. They're both
going to go off. My prediction, Saquon Barkley, 125 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
All right.
Okay. So Tua made his return. Dolphins are 4-0 in football games where Tua doesn't die. And he passed for 261 yards and a touchdown. Not insane. And there were a few times where he probably should have been picked off.
Yeah, I watched that game. There was a lot of drop picks by the Steelers, but, you got to catch them if you're going to win it, so they didn't.
Jalen Waddle had a nice game with only four catches for 88 yards. So, a lot of yards, not a lot of catches.
Do you get the score?
Yeah, 16-10.
Oh, okay.
Dolphins.
Okay.
Big game if you had Jason Sanders.
Oh yeah, big kicker.
Or if you're me and you had Raheem Mostert.
Oh yeah, didn't he get the touchdown?
He did. He got the 1 touchdown.
All right.
Kenny Pickett threw his first touchdown pass to a receiver. I think it's just that the Steelers are bad.
I think the Steelers are a bad team. I think this is the first year we're going to see it because I know there's that stat where it's Mike Tomlin's never been below 500.
The Steelers' problem is that they're not winning now, but they're not rebuilding.
They don't have a lot of talent.
They need to commit to
rebuild. They have
rebuild.
Talented pieces. They don't have
because they have Matt Canada at offense.
They have no offensive line. They have very old defensive line besides T.J. Watt, who
is hurt.
Cam Hayward's still playing elite, but yeah, he's in his 30s, so you can't keep him around for much longer.
Dolphins
their secondary is also
Dolphins get to hopefully eat up going to Detroit, going to the Motor City to play one of the worst defenses in football.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins on that.
And then the Steelers will go to the Eagles, which will just be a bloodbath for Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 not great games shouldn't be 2 competitive games following that up. And then Patriots downfall Monday night.
Beautiful.
That was fun to watch.
Great game.
That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, I think that was Justin Fields' best game so far.
Patriots will take on the Jets in New York without Breece Hall, who just tore his ACL, but got the James Robinson trade. So that'll probably
Michael Carter
build in.
If Michael Carter's available in your fantasy league, go pick him up.
I wouldn't.
I'd take him over James Robinson, so he knows the system.
Michael Carter?
Maybe for 1 week, but
he's been there for 2 years.
But James Robinson's going to start. You don't trade for James Robinson to not start.
Michael Carter's going to start, and they're both going to take reps like they have been. Michael Carter, I think, is going to get a slightly bigger.
Maybe this week, but I think the rest of the season.
I think this week Michael Carter's will play. Next week, I don't think so.
I think it's James Robinson after this.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do you got, Russ?
The Colts-Titans, supposed to be a great running matchup on paper.
No. was kind of boring.
Derrick Henry had a Derrick Henry game, but that was a very boring game. Matt Ryan's benched subsequently.
Matt Ryan's injured. He has a separated shoulder.
Well, I mean,
He would have been benched.
Yeah,
he would have been benched, but he also has a separated
Yes.
shoulder,
Yeah.
so...
He's done.
Detroit Lions at Dallas Cowboys. Detroit kind of fell apart. Their offense, which has been their strong suit, just didn't show
Jared
up.
Goff.
Yeah,
Jared Goff. And the Cowboys, they're good defense. They're going to take advantage of you.
Detroit lost 3 fumbles and threw 2 picks.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
5 turnovers. I don't think you're ever going to win a game with 5 turnovers.
Nah.
Then we got Browns-Ravens, which was a pretty ugly game for the most part. A lot of running. The Browns, they had a great running attack, but just couldn't put a win together.
The Ravens bought into the Lamar running back joke and did at one point literally put him at running back.
Yes. Lamar did not pass well. I think he was only 9 of 16.
9 of 16, 120
like that.
yards.
Pretty ugly.
So wasn't the prettiest game from them, but Baltimore gets out with a win. Then we got the Texans-Raiders. Davis Mills looked pretty solid.
He looks
against
solid,
the Raiders,
but he is not the answer in Houston.
He's not the answer.
He's not going to solve their problems.
He definitely cannot solve their other problems. He's questionable if he's a problem himself, but I don't think so.
Josh Jacobs feasted on that defense, averaged 7.2 yards a carry and had 3 touchdowns.
So the Raiders are 2-1 in games where Josh Jacobs runs for over 100 yards, and their one loss was to Kansas City by 1 point. So obviously, Raiders need to make sure they're getting Josh Jacobs involved more. He didn't have more than 70 rushing yards in a game until week 5.
Jets Broncos, boring football game. Breece Hall hurt, boring football game. Bad football game even.
But no Russell Wilson.
No Russell Wilson, so better football game.
Rippin. I don't know why they trusted him just as much, if not more, than they trust Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they haven't thrown it.
He threw it like 45 times.
Yeah. He did. He threw it 46
You're paying a quarterback $250 million.
$1
Yeah.
And you're going to let him get hurt for one game, and the one game he doesn't play, you're going to let the backup throw 45 passes when he hasn't thrown close to that the entire season. It just doesn't make sense.
It's ridiculous.
But bad football game, bad game for football. Breece Hall got hurt, bad for football.
Jets, again, just like the Giants, are figuring out ways to win games. Figured out how to win this one.
What's going on in New York?
Dubs. That's what's going on.
It's going to be like, remember like the year Mark Sanchez led the Jets to like the AFC championship, and then like the Giants were pretty good, and then they were bad forever after that? Yeah. It's going to happen.
Wouldn't doubt it.
All right.
Then lastly, we got the Chiefs and the 49ers. The 49ers came out firing. They went up early. They looked like they were going to beat down on the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs just...
They're a bit banged up in defense, I know that.
Patrick Mahomes just went off.
I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes, but I thought the Niners defense would look better against him.
They did. They came
did
out
in the
looking
first
very
half,
well.
But then he just tore them up.
Mm-hmm. Mahomes finished with 423 yards, 3 touchdowns.
The big news in San Francisco is obviously the McCaffrey trade. Mm-hmm. Gave up a lot for him. And, I mean, you get him on like what? They got him on like Thursday.
Yeah.
He played, they said around 20 snaps. The fact that he was able to play 20 snaps.
He could have played more.
When he got the fact that he understood the offense well enough to get that much time when he was traded on a Thursday is impressive. I mean, again, he goes to Stanford. He's a smart guy, but clearly he's a very
student
smart
of the
guy.
game.
I don't think the numbers popped out that crazy for him, but I think like next week and going on, he'll start building on it.
I actually benched him in fantasy.
McCaffrey is the perfect weapon for the 49ers.
Yeah, easily.
A receiving back that can basically line up anywhere and can be utilized in multiple ways. Mm-hmm. That is Kyle Shanahan's dream.
Speaking of these 49ers, play the Rams next week. That should be a good game. The Rams kind of blow recently.
Yeah, that's an easy Niners.
I think the Niners take that one, especially if McCaffrey's back in full usage. That's a 425 game in L.A., but there's no such thing as a home game if you play in L.A. It's always an away game.
Yep.
And then another game of the week for me, the Monday night Bengals-Browns. I already talked about that, but should be a pretty good game. Mm-hmm. The Bengals always find ways to make games entertaining because they either do really good, really bad, or keep the game really close. There's never like a two touchdown loss. It's like a 3 touchdown loss, or a 3 touchdown win, or a 1 point loss, or a 1 point win.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So next week, games of the week for me. Thursday night, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Buccaneers. It's a huge game for Tom Brady. If he doesn't win this one, his season is heading towards a tank.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good. He would potentially be out of first place in a bad division.
The worst division.
The worst division.
In football, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And I think in this statistical opinion, too.
So he really needs to win this one. I'm thinking he will. Just classic Tom Brady at home. Another game that is a sleeper, Bears at Cowboys.
I was going to say that.
Bears, if they can play anywhere close to what they played offensively last night, that's going to be a good game.
I'd have to agree on that. My only reservation is you saw Matt Judon tore through the Bears line last night.
Micah Parsons.
I think Micah Parsons is way better than Matt Judon. I think he'll give Justin Fields nightmares.
The line, Cowboys are opening up 9.5. Minus 9.5.
I honestly like that for the Bears.
Yeah.
Again, it's a stretch. They've only done it last game, but if they can continue somewhat close to offensive production that they put up, use Justin Fields the same way as they did last night, then I feel confident they could.
Yeah, that was
compete.
the first night where they showed that they used Justin Fields properly because he's not a sit in the pocket and make his reads. He's give him 1 or 2 reads and then let him go.
Well, what I thought was interesting is the Bears' playbook for the past probably like 5 games, especially against the Giants too, was run, and
absolutely nothing.
Pass
like
if you have to.
Absolutely nothing like the game.
I think this game
week.
he only threw about 13 passes, but those passes were they weren't all on third down.
They looked more ready to pass.
They looked
football.
more ready. He was on first down or second down.
And there were a lot of passes where he ended up running, but they were
Exactly.
designed pass.
Yeah, so I really liked his poise this game, and I think hopefully he can replicate it against the Cowboys.
I do too, as a Giants fan. So go Bears.
There we go.
Da Bears.
All right, that's all for me.
That's also all for me.
All right.
This has been Film Talk Football. I'm Russell Nelson.
And I'm Turner Keck, and thank you to our special guest, Connor Zaleski.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.